Today, the computer industry is dominated by companies like Apple, Microsoft, and IBM. But a few decades ago, there was another company that towered over the tech world. At its peak, Digital Equipment Corporation was the second largest computer company on the planet. Its machines powered universities, laboratories, and some of the most advanced technology projects of the time. In the 1980s, it was worth billions and employed over 100,000 people. It looked unstoppable, but today almost nobody remembers it. So how does a company that once helped shape modern computing simply disappear from history? The birth of a computer pioneer, Digital Equipment Corporation, was founded in 1957 by engineer Ken Olsen and his partner Harlan Anderson. At the time, computers were enormous machines that filled entire rooms and cost millions of dollars. Only governments, universities, and the largest corporations could afford them. Most of these machines were produced by one dominant company, IBM. Olsen believed there was a better approach. Instead of giant mainframe computers, DEC would build smaller and more affordable machines. These machines became known as mini-computers, and they would completely change the computer industry. The Minicomputer Revolution. In the 1960s, DEC released one of its most famous products, the PDP series of mini-computers. The most successful model was the PDP-8, introduced in 1965. It was revolutionary. Instead of costing millions of dollars, the PDP-8 cost around $18,000, making computing accessible to far more organizations. Suddenly, universities, laboratories, and small businesses could afford powerful computing systems. DEC's machines quickly became extremely popular in scientific research, engineering, and education. They helped power everything from laboratory experiments to early computer programming courses. And DEC kept innovating. Over time, the company introduced more advanced systems like the VAX computer line, which became one of the most successful mini-computer platforms ever built. By the late 1970s and early 1980s, DEC had become a massive technology company. At its peak, it employed over 100,000 people. And in 1988, Digital Equipment Corporation generated $14 billion in revenue. At that point, it was the second largest computer company in the world. Everything seemed to be going right. But a major shift in the computer industry was about to begin. The rise of personal computers. In the late 1970s and early 1980s, a new type of machine began appearing. Instead of large systems used by institutions, these machines were designed for individual users. They were called personal computers. Companies like Apple and IBM began releasing PCs that individuals and small businesses could buy. Soon after, software companies like Microsoft began building operating systems that powered these machines. At first, DEC didn't see personal computers as a serious threat. The company believed its powerful mini-computers would continue dominating professional environments. But the PC revolution was just beginning, and it would soon reshape the entire industry. As personal computers became more powerful and affordable, businesses started replacing expensive mini-computers with networks of PCs. These smaller machines could perform many of the same tasks at a much lower cost. But DEC struggled to adapt. The company attempted to enter the personal computer market, but its products were often late, expensive, or incompatible with industry standards. Meanwhile, competitors moved quickly. IBM PCs became widely adopted. Microsoft's operating systems became industry standards. And new companies like Compaq began producing powerful PC-compatible machines. DEC's once dominant mini-computer market began shrinking rapidly. Digital Equipment Corporation also faced internal challenges. The company had grown extremely large and complex. Decision-making slowed down. Management struggled to respond quickly to industry changes. Founder Ken Olsen had built DEC around the success of mini-computers, and shifting the company's strategy proved difficult. One famous quote often associated with Olsen, though frequently debated in context, is that there was no reason anyone would want a computer in their home. Whether or not that exact statement captured his true view, it reflected the company's difficulty recognizing how quickly personal computing was evolving. By the early 1990s, DEC was losing billions of dollars. Its once dominant position in the computer industry had weakened significantly. The company attempted several restructuring efforts, including layoffs and new product lines. But competition from PC manufacturers and emerging server companies continued to grow. Eventually, DEC could no longer survive as an independent company. In 1998, Digital Equipment Corporation was acquired by Compaq in a deal worth about $9.6 billion. At the time, it was one of the largest acquisitions in technology history. Just a few years later, Compaq itself was acquired by Hewlett-Packard. And with that, the once powerful DEC effectively disappeared from the industry. The legacy of DEC. Even though Digital Equipment Corporation is no longer around, its influence on technology is enormous. DEC helped pioneer many innovations that shaped modern computing. For example, DEC engineers built the powerful systems that powered early internet technologies. One famous project developed at DEC was the search engine AltaVista, which became one of the most popular websites on the internet in the late 1990s. DEC also helped train generations of engineers and computer scientists who later shaped the modern tech industry. Many concepts used in modern servers, networking systems, and operating systems were influenced by DEC's innovations. Digital Equipment Corporation was once one of the most important technology companies in the world. It helped make computing more accessible, fueled scientific research, and shaped the early internet. But when the computer industry shifted toward personal computers, DEC struggled to adapt. And like many companies before it, being an industry pioneer wasn't enough to guarantee long-term success. Technology moves quickly, and sometimes the companies that lead one era of innovation don't survive the next. But even though DEC is gone, its impact on the world of computing is still felt today. Because long before laptops and smartphones became everyday tools, Digital Equipment Corporation helped build the foundations of the digital world.